Amongst the criticisms levelled at Abby as a character, one that obsessive haters of The Last of Us Part 2 like to latch onto is how she turned against the WLF. But, rather than showing her up as a bad person, this actually serves as a pivotal moment in her redemption arc, and she made the correct call in extremely difficult circumstances. The argument, in essence, is this. After the death of her father and the dissolution of the Fireflies, the Washington Liberation Front took Abby and her friends in, clothed them, fed them, trained them, and let them take up arms in their ranks. That Abby would so quickly turn on those she fought alongside for 4 years, in favour of 2 kids she'd known only for a couple of days, shows her lack of loyalty and poor character. They trusted her and she betrayed them. She is the worst.
The worst.
If you actually played the game and paid attention throughout, then you're likely already picking holes in this. The in-universe reasoning for Abby's turn against the WLF is not only pretty obvious, but entirely justified. Let's walk through it. Abby first meets Lev and Yara when they save her life. She's moments away from being hanged and drawn when their intervention helps her kill the Seraphites trying to execute her, and they cut her down. From there, she then helps them escape from the forest, and they in turn help her escape from the restaurant besieged by infected. Even as she's lamenting trusting them, certain they have fled, they return and give her an escape route. This is enough for Abby to form an attachment to them and to worry about what happens to them. We see this when they occupy her nightmares, their strung up corpses replacing her dad's in the operating room that she revisits every single night. Once she rescues them and gets the supplies needed for Mel to take care of Yara's injury, this brings peace to her dreams for the first time in years. On day 2, Abby bonds with Lev as they make the journey for those medical supplies. He learns of why he is an apostate from the Seraphites, and he in turn tries to help her through her fear of heights.
What's going on between you and your friend Owen?
Oh my god, Lev, now?
It seemed really awkward.
Just go!
They also fight side by side in battle with humans and infected alike, further strengthening their bond. On day 3, Abby and Yara grow closer through their shared worry for Lev as he flees to the island. They rescue him, but not before seeing and sharing the pain he feels for his own mother rejecting him, and in doing so making him responsible for her death. All of which is to say, Abby hasn't just met Lev and Yara. She's spent time with them, bonded, grown close through shared struggle, and come to care for them, all in the most intense 2 days of her life. Into the WLF. On day 1, Abby had to defy Isaac in order to find out if Owen, who she's known and loved for most of her life, was still alive. Isaac flatly refused to let her search for him because his single-minded genocidal vision came first. This is something many WLF can be overheard discussing when you play as Ellie. They almost openly view Isaac as crazy and fanatical, even when they themselves often betray the same traits. Isaac then indirectly interferes with Abby's efforts to save Yara, his orders leading soldiers at the hospital to lock her up. After Nora frees her, we learn he even interrogated Mel, Manny and Nora about her going AWOL. Finally, in person, he confronts her on the island after his soldiers have killed Yara. He points a gun at Abby and gives her an ultimatum. Either she moves so he can kill Lev, or he kills them both. He also makes it clear that letting her live now does not mean letting her off the hook once they leave the island. He will be punished. There is no reasoning with Isaac. There is no room for dialogue or middle ground. She and Lev escape only because Yara is still barely alive and able to shoot Isaac. From there, Abby is immediately in the sightline of the WLF. They have, as one, turned on her as aggressively as they did Ellie or the Seraphites.
Come on out, Abby. Let's get this over.
We're here to warn them, you fucking snake!
They would no doubt agree with the criticism of Abby's character levelled at the start of this video, but they're also in the midst of a genocide and willing to gun down Abby because she stood her ground when their dictatorial leader wanted to murder a kid. They aren't the best judge of a person's moral standing, in other words. From all that, it's clear that the idea that there was no justification or build-up to Abby turning on the WLF is at best nonsense. At worst, it reads as a criticism from someone who hasn't actually played the game. As for whether her doing so makes Abby a bad person, that's subjective, but it's hard to see a convincing case being made for it. What did you think of Abby's journey in The Last of Us Part 2 and her turning against the WLF? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a like and consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content, like the video that's just popped up, which YouTube thinks you should watch next. Check out the link in the description to my Patreon to support the channel directly and get perks like shoutouts and early access to videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.